Some stories don't really go away. They just sit quietly in the background until something happens that brings them back again. And when they do come back, they usually look a lot like they did the first time. Back in 1955, just outside Loveland, a traveling businessman was driving late at night along a quiet stretch of road when he noticed something off to the side that quite didn't make sense. He thought it might have been a person crouched low near to the ground, but as his headlights reached it, the shape became clearer in a way that immediately fell off. He later described seeing a small humanoid figure, around 3 to 4 feet tall, with a frog-like face, textured skin, and eyes that reflected the light in a way that stuck with him. What made the moment harder to shake wasn't just how it looked, but how aware it seemed to be, almost like it already noticed him before he fully understood what he was seeing. He claimed it was holding something thin in his hand, like a small rod, and that he saw a brief flicker of light before the figure moved off and disappeared into the darkness beyond the road. At the time, the story sounded strange enough to be dismissed, and over the years, it faded into the background the way a lot of local stories do. Remembered, just not enough to be repeated. Then in 1972, nearly 2 decades later, something happened in the same area that made the early story harder to ignore. A police officer named Ray Shockey was driving near the Little Miami River late at night when he spotted a figure crouched along the road. His headlights lit up clearly enough for him to see that it wasn't anything he could immediately recognize. He described it as a small, low to the ground, with a frog-like appearance, and the moment it noticed him, it reacted quickly, pushing off the ground and clearing a guardrail before disappearing down the river. Not long after that, another officer, Mark Matthews, reported seeing something nearly in the same location. He said the figure appeared upright at first, almost like it had been standing or watching, and then dropped down on all fours before moving off into the darkness in a way that quite didn't match how any normal animal would behave. What makes this part of the story harder to brush off isn't just the description, but the pattern, because you have 2 officers in the same area within a short period of time, both describing something that moves in a similar way and doesn't quite fit any clear explanation. Over time, people have tried to explain it, with the most common idea being that it could have been a large iguana, possibly an escaped pet, and one of the officers even leaned toward the explanation later on. But even that doesn't fully settle it, because iguanas don't usually stand upright and watch passing cars, and they don't tend to show up decades apart in the same place in a way that lines up with the earlier reports. Whether it was misidentified or something else entirely, the part that seems to stay consistent across every account is the feeling that it just wasn't something you happened to notice. It felt like something that already had noticed you first.